The narrative commences in a mountain-surrounded forest, where 7 individuals sit in a boat after having arrived in this woodland. A girl's name is Megan, and the rest were her friends. Now these people had come to this forest, but they did not know that there are corpses everywhere. The condition of the corpses is also very bad. Now these people stop at the wooden bridge and unload their luggage. There was also a board that it is forbidden to go inside because it is dangerous, but they do not pay attention to it and start coming inside. Some animal corpses were also lying here, whose condition was also very bad because it was rotten. There was a bad smell everywhere. These people board the bus and move forward on their journey. One of their friends, who was the driver of the bus, knew this place very well. Seeing the circumstances around, everyone thinks that something bad has happened here, but no one knows what has happened. Then these people come to a cabin where 2 people were waiting for them from the beginning. Among these 2 people, one was their professor and the other was the captain. Here we find out why all these people came here. Actually, they had come for a project of their college, and their work was to investigate this place and the corpses. The professor distributes them in 2 teams and explains everything, and also gives them a place to live. Now, because the network was not coming here, he also gives them walkie-talkie, which is a type of mobile device through which they can contact each other, and there is no need for a signal in it. When the driver was smoking, by mistake, his cigarette falls into the drum there, from which the black liquid starts coming out. The liquid that falls on those walkie-talkies also starts burning. Seeing this, the driver thinks of cleaning those walkie-talkies, but as soon as he touches them, his finger burns because of the black liquid. All those friends come to the room where they had to stay. This room was very dirty, and there were dead bodies here too. But even though they didn't want to, they had to stay here. The professor starts keeping an eye on the cameras everywhere. When they go to their work to investigate, the driver gives them walkie-talkies. He himself goes to cook food. He was cooking meat, whose blood starts falling here and there. Megan and her friend go to the corpse lying next to the pond to investigate. Megan's 2 friends go to the corpse lying next to the bus and start making his video. The corpse was in such a bad condition that it was not even visible, and they start talking to each other about his condition. Megan's friend Daniel and his friend go to the corpse lying next to the bus. This corpse was also in such a bad condition that it had worms in it. Daniel picks up the sample of the corpse and the worm from there. Seeing the size of the worm, he understands that this corpse is a week old. The professor tells everyone to come back before evening. So when the driver was cooking, he sees that some pieces of meat are missing from here, and the black liquid is also lying here. He finds this strange. He goes to the professor to tell him that I think there is someone around us, but the professor doesn't listen to him, because he was concerned about his research. He didn't care about who was here, and he could be in danger, so he tells the driver not to pay attention to these things. Go do your work. Hearing this, the driver starts cooking again. He cooks food and goes to give it to Megan and her friend, and tells her that I have found very strange corpses on the way. You go and check them too. Seeing this, the professor gets angry. Walkie-talkie. He tells her that you don't tell them. They know their work. You focus on your work. Now Megan's friend goes to see a corpse lying in the room, but the professor sends her from here saying no, don't do research on this yet. Go and work with Megan. Then when Megan's friend goes from there, the driver sees that the corpse is moving, and he gets scared seeing this, and immediately comes to Megan's friend and tells her about it. But she doesn't believe him, and leaves from here, and that corpse really gets up. She was looking very ugly. Black liquid was also coming out of her mouth. When Megan's friend was checking the corpse, she felt that someone was in the jungle. Megan's friend comes to her and says that I went to see another corpse, and her condition was very bad. On which Megan says that we should only do research on those corpses, which the professor told us. When the driver was going to give food to Sabi, he heard strange sounds in the jungle. Actually, the corpse that had become alive was roaming there, which the driver sees, and starts running from there. But due to haste, he bumps into a place and falls down, and becomes unconscious. Now the battery of Megan's friend's walkie-talkie had run out. That's why he starts going back. His friend says that I saw something strange in the jungle. I am feeling scared, but he doesn't believe her. The professor was calling Sabi back to the cabin, but the walkie-talkie was not receiving the signal, and the driver was also not aware of it. Megan's friend comes to see the corpse lying in that room. But she is very surprised to see that the corpse is not lying here. That's why she immediately starts telling Megan about this. But she was also not receiving the signal. That's the reason she begins returning to the cabin. But then she realizes that someone is around her. Actually, the same dead body was here. She hears Megan's friend's voice and starts coming towards her. But when Megan's friend sees her, she gets very scared and starts running from there. Here we can see that corpse properly, which looked like a zombie. So from now on we will call her a zombie. That zombie was now moving towards Megan's friend, but while running, she got stuck between the thorns and got injured. Taking advantage of this, that zombie starts eating her nails. Now slowly, he eats her whole hand, which causes her a lot of pain. She was badly stuck there and was not able to get out. Due to thorns, one of her eyes was also badly injured. Now the zombie cuts her neck and starts eating her. Now due to thorns in the zombie, she was in a lot of pain, meaning she was not even getting an easy death. Megan looks for her friend. She reaches the same thorn place. Finally, at some distance, she meets her friend, but in a lot of pain. That zombie was also standing nearby. Megan somehow gets her out of there and brings her to the nearby cabin and starts helping her. She tries to stop the blood by keeping the clothes, but there is no use of it. Due to so much blood, she dies. Megan immediately closes the door of that cabin so that no one knows that her friend was bitten by a zombie, and she is also about to become a zombie. The driver comes to the professor and tells that zombies are roaming everywhere. There is a danger here. That's why we should call everyone back, and we should get out of here. But the professor was still not believing her. Anyway, the driver keeps saying it. He goes out to find everyone. Then the driver also has to go with him. There, that zombie was eating the zombie in the car. The professor sees that everyone is wearing black liquid on their caps, but he doesn't understand what it was. Megan sees that her friend has also become a zombie, and she moves towards him to eat him, but somehow she escapes. Through the camera, the driver sees that a zombie is standing near his cabin. Then Megan's two friends come to the door. He calls them inside and tells them that all the corpses are alive, and they are becoming zombies. There is danger everywhere. There Daniel and his friends see that the corpse they were researching, the one with the car, his condition is very bad. Someone has torn his whole body. When he sees this, Daniel tells his friend that I think this is definitely the professor's work, so that we are afraid of the condition of the corpse. But his friend doesn't think so. In fact, according to him, something is not right, and he did the same to the corpse. He is also very scared. That's why he goes alone to the cabin. Now the driver and Megan's friend tell the professor that zombies are roaming everywhere, but he doesn't believe them. He thinks it's just an excuse for them, so that he can finish this project here. And Megan's friend, who was coming towards the cabin alone, he forgets his way, and then he sees a zombie coming towards him. He runs to save his life, but there was a fence in front of him. He tries a lot, but he can't open the lock. Then zombies were coming towards him from both sides. He tries to get out of the fence, but he can't escape the hands of two zombies. They grab him and take him down, and they start eating him. They tear his stomach very badly. Everyone in the cabin decides that they will get out of here the next morning. Now Daniel also comes to the cabin. He sees that neither his friend has reached the cabin, nor does Megan know anything. That's why he goes to find Megan with a hammer, while Megan's two friends go to find Daniel's friend. But he had already become a zombie. Megan was trapped in that cabin and could not get out of there. Then her friend moves forward to attack her, but Megan puts a weapon in her mouth and hits the wall. She was trying to stop her friend from breaking the wooden floor, and her friend, who was also a zombie, starts coming inside. After trapping her friend there, Megan comes to her friend and places a dagger against her face, from which he starts burning. She cuts his throat with a piece of wood, but he was still not dying. Megan's friend also comes to kill him, but Megan puts a sharp piece of wood in his head, from which his friend is killed. The sample of dead bodies he had collected comes out of the cabin from the terrace, where his friend tries to come up behind him. Then Megan puts a chemical on his face, from which his whole body explodes like a blast. Now it was getting dark. The driver closes the cabin door with a nail, and then a zombie comes out. The professor shoots him, but he didn't know if the zombie was dead or not, so he hears voices at the door. The professor thinks that maybe they are students, so despite the driver's refusal, he opens the door, but there was no one there. Suddenly two zombies come and attack the professor. He also shoots them, but not a single bullet hits the zombies. Similarly, the driver brings the professor inside and closes the door. There Megan also understood that she would die if she hit the zombies on the head, so she takes out out the wood from her friend's head, goes out of the cabin, and calls the zombie standing there to her. Then the zombie starts coming here. But just at this time, Daniel also comes to this cabin. He is very shocked to see the condition of Megan's friend's dead body there. But before that, he calls someone here. Megan says to keep quiet with her hand on her mouth. Then the zombie he had called comes inside and eats his friend's dead body. Taking advantage of this, Megan hits the zombie on the stomach with that wood, and Daniel hits the zombie on the head, but his attack does not hit the zombie on the head properly, so he does not die. Seeing this, both run away from here. The driver and the professor had also banned a zombie, but that zombie had bitten the professor, so he puts medicine on his wound. The driver was collecting things to burn the zombie, but the professor's gun was left outside, so they both go out to get the gun. They see that there is a zombie in their kitchen. He is eating the meat and he has caused destruction there. The professor sends the driver inside the cabin to keep an eye on the other zombie. But a zombie had also come under the cabin, who came here because of the smell of blood. Smelling the blood, he starts breaking the cabin. The driver gets scared and starts calling the professor, but he does not listen to the driver because he was busy shooting the zombie in the kitchen. After all, the bullet hits the zombie on the head, which makes him die. The driver hits a bottle of alcohol on the zombie's head and also hits him with his legs, but the zombie catches him and starts biting his feet. Then the professor comes in to help him after hearing him scream. But before that, the zombie had taken him from the broken cabin. Megan and Daniel find the driver in a very bad condition, that is, very injured, and he dies as soon as he sees him. Now, before he becomes a zombie, Megan wanted to kill him by hitting him on the head, but Daniel stops him and takes him away from there. As soon as he leaves, the driver becomes alive and becomes a zombie. As they were running, they had reached the bus. Then the professor comes here and asks about the others. On this, Megan says that 3 of our friends were killed along with the driver. 2 of us are alive, and we have no information about the other 2. Then the professor tells them to stay inside the bus. I go to find them. He gives his gun to Megan. Megan is responsible for all this. She says that whatever is happening because of me. Because it was my plan that we would come to this forest and work on that project. And see, Daniel, we won't be saved now. Those zombies will kill us too. But Daniel makes her believe that nothing happened because of you. And believe me, we will get out of here alive and well. There, 2 of Megan's friends, who were alive, are followed by a zombie. Then she starts running to save her life. The zombie was about to catch one of them. That's when they start attacking her with both the axes and running away. But the zombie still doesn't leave them alone. Now these people also come to the same forest where there were a lot of zombies. But somehow they escape from here and reach the bus, and come inside and close the door. Now the zombies were attacking the bus too, and try to open the door. But somehow they start driving the bus and leaving from here. One zombie was still hanging on the bus. Then Megan's friend kicks him and throws him out of the bus. Megan also hears the sound of the bus, but outside the bus, the driver who had become a zombie was roaming. That's why he doesn't make any noise and stays quiet. After a while, Megan and Daniel come out to check, but the driver was still roaming outside. Seeing them, he starts running towards them. Then Megan starts shooting at him, and one bullet accidentally hits Daniel. He falls down. The driver was about to cut him, but Megan shoots him in the head. Then she picks up Daniel and takes him away from there. On the way, they also meet their 2 friends who were in the bus. They also put them in the bus. They keep moving forward like this, and the zombies who were coming in their way were crushing them. Now there was a zombie here who was very strong. Even after a million tries, he was not dying. The trouble was that his bus had stopped and was not starting. Then the zombie starts breaking the glass of the bus. He catches a friend of the zombie, Megan, and as soon as he was about to cut him, the bus also runs. But the zombie had still caught him, and in this headbutting, the bus collides with the cabin, and Megan's friend is killed. After this, Megan asks her other friend to drive the bus, but it was of no use, because he was inside the bus. He was about to attack Megan, but Daniel shoots a bullet on the head of the zombie and kills him. Megan's other friend starts driving the bus, and Daniel's condition was deteriorating due to the bullet. Suddenly, due to the lack of vision, their bus gets into an accident. Megan's friend who was driving the bus, his leg bone breaks. He was injured too. Then Megan treats him and joins his bone. After which, the 3 of them leave from there. Due to the petrol leak, the bus also also explodes in a while. Then these three come out of the house. Where Daniel rests, Megan and her other friends start keeping an eye. When a zombie comes here, Megan starts shooting at him, but he doesn't get a single bullet. And that zombie comes from the back to attack Megan. Megan starts shooting at him again, but he doesn't get a single bullet on his head, because of which the zombie dies. And then the gun runs out of bullets. This day, the zombie grabs him, but before he kills Megan, his friend shoots the zombie in the head and kills him, and then Megan's life is saved. Now it was morning and the professor also comes here. In a while, the captain also takes the car and comes here. As soon as he comes, the professor hits him and asks him, "Tell me the truth, what was in those drums? That black liquid? And what's going on here? Why are they all zombies after dying?" Then the captain tells that the liquid was actually being experimented on the prisoners. But due to the experiment failure, all the prisoners started turning into zombies. Then a zombie comes here. Then the professor throws the captain in front of the zombie and sits in the car. But the keys were in the mouth of the zombie. Because the zombie had eaten the captain, so it stuck in his mouth. Now, in the story, some illegal experiments were being done on the prisoners. Due to the experiment failure, all the prisoners started turning into zombies. As a result, the whole place was destroyed, and all these people came here to see why the people of the city are dying so fast. But they had no idea that the corpses they came to research were zombies. Now these zombies are different from other zombies, because they eat zombies along with humans. With this, the film ends here.